You ever heard the phrase that anger lies in the bosom of a fool? So this is a very popular scripture in the Bible, and why some people might have not heard of it before, some people might have heard it over and over again. And even though we've heard it over and over again, the question is, have you actually thought about it, what it really means? Why is it that some people find it so easy to control their emotions, to control their anger, and for some people it's so much hard work, they're not even able to control their anger at all? In this video, I'll be giving you 6 techniques, 6 tips that you can use to control your anger if you're someone that has anger management issues. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hello and welcome back to Everyday Matters. I'm here to give you lifestyle advice and tips to help you live your dreams, achieve your goals, and become the best version of yourself. Now, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do, and don't forget to click the notification icon so you don't miss out on any of my updates. I said before, today we'll be talking about anger management techniques. So what are the techniques, what are the tips that you can use to manage your anger if you're someone that has anger management issues? I did a video on emotional intelligence in which I talked about the ability to identify the emotions, the feelings you are having, and how to best understand your emotions and how it affects people and the relationships around you. If you haven't seen that video yet, the link will be in the description box for you so you can have a look for yourself and just see how you can become more emotionally intelligent if you are already an emotionally intelligent person. Someone that hasn't got a high emotional intelligence, or if you don't have emotional intelligence at all, if you're a very emotional person, then I believe that video will be useful to you as well. Like I said before, anger is an emotion that we all have. We all feel anger at one point or the other. We feel angry about something or someone or what someone has done or what they haven't done at one point or the other. So while we all have anger, it is important that we have good anger management techniques so that we don't spoil things for ourselves, so that we don't spoil things for anyone, because we know that anger, when not well managed, can spoil a lot of things. Anger, for people that are explosive in their anger, they can tell you how much they regret after they've done something, okay, when they are angry. So it's important that we're able to manage our emotions, we're able to manage our anger. Okay, now I'm talking about anger management. What is anger management? I did a research, and what I found, that I'm just going to read it from my notepad. It says anger management is the ability to prevent or control your anger, or to channel your anger in a way that it does not have a negative impact on you or to those around you. It's the ability to deploy your anger successfully. Okay, so the ability to use that anger and use it for something good, or use it in a different way that it will not have any negative impact on yourself or on the people around you. Okay, it is important also to know that when we talk about anger management, we're not saying, okay, you need to suppress your anger. No, because that is not good for you, because at some point you will suppress those angers, and before you know it, that anger would explode. So that's not what we're talking about. We're about understanding the message behind the emotion you're feeling and expressing it in a healthy way without actually losing control. So a lot of people express their anger in different ways. Some people will scream and shout, or scream at the people around them. They will hit someone. Some people express their anger as a road rage. So you see someone driving on the road and they are swearing and they are cursing the next person, even though they have their windows rolled up. They are swearing and cursing, not that the person can hear them, but because they are so angry, they are so worked up, they will swear, they will shout. Some people would even roll their windows down and shout outside the window and say nasty things to the other person. You know, some people will drive so fast because they want to get close to the person, because maybe the person overtook them on the road or something. They express their anger that way. Some people would hit and punch the wall and even put a hole in the wall just because they are angry. Some people would hit and throw things anywhere they see because they are angry, which is really bad. At the end of the day, they are destroying things, okay, in the house, their personal things. These are important to them. Some people will hit and punch people. Okay, so for instance, there are some parents that are so angry they will beat their children. You would even imagine, is this person hitting their age mate? Is this actually a child that this man or this woman is hitting? People would hit their wives, hit their husbands because they are so angry. And there was a video I saw one time of a man that was using a pressing iron to hit his wife. He was punching this woman, and in my head I'm thinking, can this man not see that this is just a woman? Can this man not see that this woman has not the kind of energy that he has, and the woman cannot fight him back? So why not just say something and they just leave her alone instead of giving her all that beating? And the woman was on the floor, he just kept punching her and beating her. You understand? So that's what anger can do. They forget that this person is is smaller than them, or this person is younger than them, or this person cannot fight me. They just go ahead and hit and beat. And recently we heard a story of a pastor that killed his wife. The story has been all over the internet, so sadly. And the reason he was angry was the fact that, okay, this woman doesn't want to be with me anymore. If she doesn't want to be with me, she can't be with anyone else. Okay, so jealousy and anger led him to go ahead and shoot his wife. Okay, so that kind of anger, why don't you say, okay, you know what, if you don't want to be with me anymore, that's fine, just go away, or channel your anger in a different way instead of going. So people would kill because they are angry. Okay, there are people in European countries, in America, that will go ahead and shoot another person even in the streets just because they are angry. Why are you giving your power to that person? Why are you going to that extent just because you are angry? So it's really, really bad. It can destroy a lot of things. And the fact is that man has shot his wife. He would regret it after he has done it, because he's probably now in prison. He's not free anymore. He might get free later. Well, I hope he doesn't get freed from the prison, but it's really bad because now the person is dead. He is locked up in prison, and that's what happens in most cases. A lot of times when people do things out of anger, they end up regretting. Okay, so why don't we just take some time and just take a breather instead of doing things out of anger? Why don't we ask ourselves, instead of me reacting the way I'm reacting, is there a better way for me to channel my anger? Is there a better way for me to control? Is there a better way for me to react? Okay, so that's why I said in this video I'm going to be talking about the techniques of anger management. And the first technique I'm going to be talking about is self-awareness. Okay, and I talked about this in my other video as well when I talked about emotional intelligence. The first step to becoming emotional intelligence is self-awareness, and it's the same thing with anger management. You need to be aware of yourself. You need to be aware of who you are. You need to be aware of the emotions that you're having, what you're feeling like. If you know you're angry, you need to be aware that, okay, I have anger management issues. That's the first step. If you don't accept it, if you don't do it, then you will be living in self-denial. And if you're living in self-denial, there's no way you'll be able to control your anger yourself. What can I do? Is there a better way for me to be able to manage my anger? Okay, so that's the first step that you can use to manage your anger. Okay, and the second step I'm going to talk about is delaying your response. Okay, and this is so crucial, and it has helped me a lot. Okay, and when it comes to response, there are two options. Okay, so there's an immediate response, the response you give immediately, which is often controlled by the right side of the brain. Okay, so that means the right side of the brain is mostly not logical in any way. Okay, so you just feel it and then you do it. You feel angry and then you explode. You feel angry and then you punch a wall. So that is controlled by the right side of the brain, and that is mostly not logical. And the other option you have is your delayed response, which is what I often recommend. A lot of times when we delay our response, what we're doing is we're passing this information to the left side of the brain that helps us to make more logical decisions, help us to react more logically. So when you delay your response, you're able to act more logically. You're able to think about the other person. Okay, you're able to give excuses for the person. Maybe someone made you angry. I was reading something and the person said, oh, maybe this person is having a bad day. Maybe he's generally a nice person, but today he's having a bad day. Or maybe the person is scared of something, or maybe something has happened in their way. Maybe that's the reason they are behaving the way they are behaving. So you don't respond to them in that way. Give yourself a breather, take your time and say, you know what, let me think about this thing I'm going to do. Let me think about the response I'm going to give. Not so long ago, I had someone asked someone to do something for me, which I paid for, to do a task for me. Okay, and I was waiting for him to complete the task and come back to me. And what happened is he wasn't coming back to me, so I sent him a text. I actually called him on the phone and I said, how far have you done what I asked you to do? And he says, oh, don't put me under pressure, don't do this, don't do that, in fact I'm going to give you your money back. And he just went on and on and on, and I was just quiet, like which was unusual. I would have said, you know what, I've paid you to do this thing, why don't you do it? That's why I paid you. But for some reasons I just kept quiet, because the reason I did that was because I knew that I wanted what he was going to do for me, and if I reacted with the way he was acting, then probably I would have lost it. I would have had to go and start all over again. So I just kept quiet, and once he finished talking, I just said, you know what, I understand, it's just that I need this thing as soon as possible, you know. And that did it. And the next time I sent it a text, I'm like, okay, how are you? So I just tried to be calm, and even though he already got angry, I could have reacted and got angry as well, and everything would have escalated, I didn't react to him that way. I just calmed down, thought about it. And then when I was sending him a text as well, I've had to think about like, okay, what is the best way to approach this person? Because I now understand that this is the kind of person he is. I have to think of a way to approach him. You understand? It's really important that we take a step, we take some minutes, some seconds to just think about our reaction. My sister sent me a text a couple of weeks ago, and what happened is I saw the text message, and the tone of the message wasn't very nice at all. And and instead of replying the message, I left it. She sent it at night or maybe early hours of the morning, and like waking up in the morning and seeing that kind of text, I'm like, you know what? If it's possible for me to unsee this message, I would unsee it, but I'd already seen it. I didn't say anything, and woke up in the morning, picked up my phone, and what she did was that she deleted the message. You understand? She deleted the message from her phone, for myself and for herself. You understand? Because what happened is she realized that this tone of this message is not good. So what she did was delete it. I can imagine if I had reacted immediately I saw the message, what it would have become. But it's really important that we take a step and delay our response a lot, and then you can be more empathetic, you can understand the next person, and you can make the right decision, take the right decision. So there's so much power when you are able to delay a response, and it makes you even more, it makes you a happier person. I was reading a book by Stephen Covey where he talks about the 7 habits of highly successful people, and one of the things that he talked about is the ability to control your reaction. So there are so many things that people will do to you, so many things that you will say, so many things that you will see, but the important thing is that you decide how you react to it. So that is so powerful. You decide how you react to it, because a majority of the time it is not what happens that matters. Like I said in my other video, it is the way you react to it, the way you interpret these things in your head and then react is what actually matters. That's what determines what the outcome would be. The third thing I'm going to talk about is to anticipate a conflict. So most of the time when you're going to get angry, when someone starts to piss you off, or when someone starts to get on your nerves, you begin to feel it. Okay, so then you know that, okay, this person is going to get me angry. I know I'm going to get mad. So you anticipate it and react and decide how to react. So don't anticipate it and just react anyway. So the reason you're anticipating is you're seeing and understand like, okay, this thing is going to get me angry, or this person is going to get on my nerves. And what you do is like, you know what? I'm not going to say anything to this person, or I would react to this person in a different way instead of the normal way that I would really react. So that is so powerful. You have the control to your emotions. Don't give it to someone else. Don't let somebody do something and then you react. And like I said before in my other video, I used to be that person that got angry, and each time I got angry I would ask myself like, why do I react this way? Why can't I just control my emotions? And when it's time to cry, I would cry even in public without any form of shame at all. And I begin to ask myself like, why is it that I can't control myself? Why can I not control my emotions? Why can't I control my anger? And the funny thing is that it takes maybe 30 seconds or 1 minute, and that's it. And I started to ask myself, how do people see me? Why? And then I said, you know what? It's high time I start to put a check on myself. So when I know that something is going to get me angry, I begin to anticipate it and then decide that, you know what? I'm not even going to say anything or just walk away. You understand? So it's really important when you begin to, and for some people, they begin to feel the anger rising in them. Okay, some people begin to feel the anger rising in them. What you want to do is like, you know what? Calm yourself down, take a deep breath, and then decide how you would react. The fourth technique of anger management that I'm going to talk about is resolve conflict while you are calm. Okay, someone said, give a speech when you are angry and you would have given the best speech that you will ever regret. Okay, so give a speech when you're angry and you'll regret that speech for as long as ever. We don't try to resolve a conflict when we are angry or when we are worked up. What you want to do is look for a time that you are calm down. So take a walk, calm down, think about it, and then you can come back and resolve your conflict. And this works so much for people that are living together, maybe husband and wife, or even family members. Don't try to resolve conflict, because what will happen is you'll just be shouting over over each other, or it will look like you've resolved it today and then the next day the same thing happens again, and then the next 2 weeks the same thing happens again. But no, what you want to do is wait for the time that you are both calm, and then you can talk about it and say, okay, this is how I feel, okay, this is the situation, this is how I feel, this is what's happening, how can we resolve it? So that can be done only when you are calm. Fifth technique of anger management I'm going to talk about is avoiding the triggers. Okay, so as people, we know, or as a person, you know the kind of things that makes you angry. You know the people, there's some people that you'll be with and you'd always get angry when you leave them. There's some places that you go to, you always get angry. There's some people that are always winding you up. Okay, so what you want to do is avoid those people. Stay away from people or places or things that will cause you to be angry. So it's really important to be mindful, to think about it and say, okay, what are the things that actually make me angry? What are the things that gets me worked up? And then begin to avoid, work on yourself and begin to avoid those things, begin to avoid those people. It's really, really important. Otherwise, you keep getting yourself into those triggers and then you keep getting angry. But when you're able to identify and know that, okay, these are the things that causes me to be angry, or these are the things or people that makes me angry, you can decide to take a break away from them. So if it's your friends, if you find out that staying with your friends will cause you to be angry or will cause you will be the trigger of your anger, then you want to take a break from them for a while. Sixth thing I'm going to talk about is refuse to be a fool. Okay, that's why in the beginning of this video I said something about anger lies in the bosom of a fool. Okay, so it's a powerful scripture in the Bible, and my pastor would always say, Pastor Vincent Gina would always say, I refuse to be a fool. So when you think about that scripture, anger lies in the bosom of a fool. Does that mean I'm a fool? Does that mean that if I'm angry, I am a fool? Okay, as someone said, it's only a fool that will know the effect of what anger can do, the extent of the damage that anger can cause, and entertain it. Okay, so I think that's what that scripture is talking about. Only a fool will know that, okay, if I'm angry, I can destroy things, I can do this, I can do that, and still go ahead and entertain that anger. So just put it in your mind and say, you know what, I am not a fool. I would not react this way. I am in control of my mind. I'm in control of my emotions. I am in control of my actions. I'm in control. I am not a fool, and refuse to give the other person a power. And there's something I read as well. When you get angry, that means you are giving someone else the control, because if I can make you angry, that means your happiness is in my hands or your control is in my hands. So do not give your control to any other person. The popular saying that anger does not solve anything, it does not build anything, but can destroy everything. Okay, so you'll be a fool to know that this thing I'm doing can destroy everything I have. It can destroy your marriage, it can destroy your career, it can destroy your life, ruin your relationship, your friendship, and then you go ahead and entertain it. So tell yourself you will not be a fool. Tell yourself you refuse to give power to the other person. Okay, don't let the other person control you by taking charge of your emotions. Okay, so it's really, really important. So these are just a few tips from me today. So first of all, in order to control your anger, what you need to do is be aware that you have anger management issues. So the second tip I talked about is delayed response. When you delay your response, you're able to react or say the things that you want to say, or react in the best way that you want to react. The third point I talked about is to anticipate the conflict. So anticipate the conflict when it's coming, anticipate the situations that get you to be angry, anticipate the things that tends to trigger your anger. Okay, so it's really important. And the fourth thing I talked about is to resolve conflict while you're calm. Don't resolve a conflict when you are still worked up, when you're angry. Try to resolve it when you're calm. So take a break, go away, take a walk, and then come back when you're calm and talk about the issue. Or if you have a misunderstanding with anyone, come back and talk about it. Fair enough, there are some people that you cannot talk to calmly, but you need to be able to know that it is not about them, it's about you, because you're an emotionally intelligent person, because you are cool. You don't want to be like them, so you want to look for the best way to resolve that conflict. So the other thing I talked about is avoiding the trigger. So avoid the people, the places, the things that would cause you to be angry, that will cause you to explode in anger. Okay, so it's really important. And the final thing I talked about is refuse to be a fool and refuse to give power to the other person. So refuse to be a fool. So let it continue to play in your head. Let that even be a message you tell yourself, you know what, I refuse to be a fool. I refuse to give my power to somebody else. I hold on to my power. I refuse to be a fool. So it's really, really important that we are able to manage our emotions, because like I said, it determines how people see you. Sometimes people are scared to say something where you are. People are walking on eggshells because you are there. People are afraid to say something because they don't know how you would react. Okay, your wife, your children, or your husband is afraid to say something because the next thing you're going to do is explode or start shouting or start hitting and doing things like that. that. So it's really important that we're able to control our emotions, we're able to control our anger. So these are just a few tips from me today on anger management techniques. I hope this video has been helpful. If it has, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to like and share this video with your friends and family. Leave your comment in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.